Morning everyone, and so the saga continues here in the fish house. This is tank number 2, and after draining this thing to take the fish out, it wouldn't take water. So of course it was probably a week or so between the time I emptied it to the time that I refilled it, maybe a week and a half. Anyway, we went through the deal where we put the plastic, and that held, except that it would go down about 10-12 inches every day, and yeah, that was just too much. So then I decided that perhaps the thing to do is take the plastic out, fill it up a few times to do what these did here. The rust pretty much stopped the leaks. There's still a little bit of slow leak, but not much. And I think over time that rust will take care of that. The amount that this thing is leaking here, I can live with. Now this one here, this is the third time that it's being filled. The first time, overnight, it was almost down to 0. The second time, it went down maybe a little bit over half. Yeah. And this is the third time. So tomorrow I will find out how much it goes down. But I think the trick is, since this rust is helping to seal it, I think the thing to do is just keep filling it without giving it time to really dry out, and eventually it'll coat it. If you look here, you can see that area there that's nothing in there. Right there, there's nothing in there for whatever reason. But the rest of it is starting to show the rust grabbing onto it. See? Same thing there. Same thing over there. This one here is doing a little bit better, but still somewhat. Yeah, so anyway, I will continue to do this, and yeah, the hope is that it grabs hold of this thing, because tank number 4 has a lot of fish. I am going to split that with tank number 7. Tank number 7, I drained it and took all the rusty water out of there. I put a pump. This is just the pump that I used to empty the tank out, so that's going to be moving from there. I need to fix that air right there, because when I did it, this side over here, because it was empty, I had put some blocks on top of the pipe to hold it down. Everything was fine, except that this side was not anchored down, and because the pipe was full of air from just being a pipe, it started coming up until eventually it twisted up and snapped that snap that right there from this pipe here. So now what I'm going to have to do is rework this, and on this pipe down here I put extra block to hold it down. I'm going to have to go down here and feel around for the blocks and re-anchor it, or drain some of this water out so that it's easier. But whatever the case is, I'm going to have to do that so that I can put this pipe here. Now, the thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to add here a little shutoff valve. And what that's going to do, because the pipes have to be the same size with the same pressure, everything, so that the air gets distributed between the two sides. But it doesn't always do that. So you'll have one side bubbling like this, and you'll have the other side doing nothing. So what I will do is control the flow to one of the pipes, which will force the air into the other one. And once both sides are going, then I will adjust that shutoff valve so you have equal pressure to both sides. Yeah, so within the next 2-3 days, I guess. Today is Thursday, so I guess by Sunday I hope to have this thing done here. And this relatively clear, and then bring that level down and take half of the fish from there and put them here. Now these fish here that were moved from tank number 3, they are doing really good, and they're growing fast. So as much as I wanted to push it to get as many fish in here, the fact of the matter is that no matter what you want, the fish need space. So yeah, and that's exactly what happened. If they don't have enough room, they will survive, but they won't grow. So I think what I'm going to do is once I get them to where tank number 1 is not overcrowded and tank number 4 is not overcrowded, and they grow and it's time to get rid of them, I think what I'm going to do is use this to do the final growing out, because here I empty the water and there's nothing but concrete, so they can't go anywhere. Over there in the pond, you've got to empty the whole thing, then muck around in the mud trying to find them and catch them and what have you, and then it'll take days to fill them just with rusty water, but just fill it. It takes days and days and days, and if that gets to leaking, oh, so what I'm going to do is I will catch the fish from that tank, bring them and put them here, and then when it's time to get more fish, they will be released to the pond and then moved over here, and then out they go. Pond, tanks, out they go. So the other thing that it will do is these fish, when they spend too much time in the sun, they turn really white. But when they're in here, because they have a roof and they're protected from the weather, they hold a really nice black silver color, with the black stripes and everything like they're supposed to be. And I think that makes for a more appealing fish to put in the market. So yeah. Okay guys, so that's the plan. And like it's been with this little fish house saga, there's something always going on. And probably the biggest reason for it is, well, there's two. One, that it's hard to find what it is that you need, the information, the supplies, whatever. It's really hard to find here in Thailand because they don't do this type of concrete thing. And then the people that do know, they won't tell you. I went to the agricultural, Woon and I went to the agricultural thing, the province one, whatever it is, kind of like a hatchery. And they have all the information, they have all the knowledge, but they won't come and help me. They just said, yeah, this, and good luck. So the second thing is, everything that I'm doing, I have to learn by experimenting, by getting it from someone, by on YouTube or something. And the biggest thing is, well, it's me. I have a way of doing things, and I get something in my head, and I have to chase it until I find out that it works or it doesn't. So I had this idea of putting all these fish in one tank, and that didn't work. It was, even though I had read that these fish need so much space, but I said to myself, if I give them enough food, enough oxygen, clean water, they should, they'll survive, but they won't grow. So that is a big lesson, expensive lesson, but nonetheless, yeah. And like I've always said, hindsight is 20/20. So I'm telling you guys, so you don't have to go through what I did. And that's the thing about me. Whatever I learn, I try to share, and then it's up to you to do whatever you want. I don't force ideas or tell people you have to do. No, that's up to you. If you get something in your head and you want to do something, do it. That's the best way to learn, and that's the best way to remain happy. So if you get an idea in your head and don't pursue it, then you're going to be wondering, would it work? Would it, what if? No, do it. Just keep in mind that, well, you're going to waste time and money. And my thing is that if nobody tells me and I think it, I do it, then I adjust it until I get it right, until it works for me. And I think we're to the point where we got this thing where it's going to be. Well, still have a little issue with the leaking, and that's because I can't find something to make it stop. And yeah, the very promising stuff that I had found, it was this powder, TPI or something or another, and yeah, that would work, but after a while it would just kind of fade away and it wouldn't hold. So, we spend a lot of money on stuff to seal all these tanks, and rust did it. So we were lucky in a sense that by accident. We found out the rust does it, and it's free. Even though I would prefer not to have it, but it is what it is. And you know, like I tell Woon, once you find what works, because everybody's situation is different, but once we find what works for us, then it's just a matter of repetition over and over and over and over, because you know that it works. And yeah. All right, guys, I'll keep you up to date on the rest of the things that we do around here, good or bad. And hopefully you'll learn from my mistakes and don't have to go through it or spend the money or go through the frustration or what have you. All right, guys, see you on the next video. Bye. Thanks for watching.
ขอบคุณเจ้า
See you next time.
แล้วปะกันแฮมไมนะเจ้า
See you.
บ๊ายบาย